Hi, it's Rosie, and I'll be making an apple pie. If you want the exact measurements for the pie, please visit iHeartRecipes.com. Okay, so I'm starting off with my homemade crust, and you can use this crust for any dessert pie or cobbler. Yes, you can use this for my peach cobbler too. So you're going to need some all-purpose flour, and you're going to add it on in your food processor or your bowl, and you're going to sprinkle in some salt and some sugar. And you're going to sift those ingredients or pulse it if you're using your food processor. And next we're going to add in some cold butter. I'm using unsalted butter. And we're also going to need some vegetable shortening. So once those are in there, you have one more thing to add, and that's going to be ice water. Make sure it's ice water, not just regular cold water. You want it really, really super cold. So now I'm just going to pulse everything until this turns into dough, just like this. Now I'm going to empty out my food processor, and I'm going to flatten out this dough with my hands. And you want it to look like a little disc or a disc, just like that. Okay? And now we're going to divide it into two, and we're going to take each disc and we're going to roll it into a ball, and we're going to cover it up with some plastic wrap. Place this into the refrigerator for about 1 hour so it's nice and cold prior to working with it. And once that hour is up, you're going to take it on out, and you're going to flatten it out with a floured roll pan. So for my pie, I will be using a 9-inch pan. And you're just going to take one of your doughs or one of your crusts, and you're going to place it into your pie pan. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It helps me out a ton, so please do so. And for the apples, I'm going to use Granny Smith apples. Now you may have a different preference of apple, but I love Granny Smith. I love the tart and sweet taste when it comes to apple pies. That's just me. So speaking of tart, I'm going to add some lemon juice. Now that's not only going to add flavor, but it actually prevents the apples from browning. That's a cool tip, right? Remember that. So now we're going to sprinkle some sugar in there. I don't like a whole lot of sugar in my apple pie. Again, I like mine a little on the tart side. You can definitely add more sugar. I'm going to sprinkle in some cinnamon and some nutmeg. And now I'm going to take my hands and I'm going to make sure everything is well combined, or make sure all those apples are nicely coated with the cinnamon and sugar. And it should look like that. Now I'm going to pour or sprinkle in some cornstarch. And don't skip out on the cornstarch because it's going to help thicken up the juice from the apples while the pie bakes. So definitely don't skip out on that. We're going to add our apples into our pie dish here now. And now we just have two more ingredients to add, and that's going to be some unsalted melted butter and vanilla extract. So now we're going to take those two ingredients and we're going to pour it all over the apples. And now we're going to just top this pie off with the crust. You can do what I'm doing, or you can just, do regular crust. I'm working on perfecting my pie designing. I'm not there yet, but just give me a little time and I will be there. So I have an egg here, and what I'm going to do with this, I'm just going to brush it on top of my crust so my pie will be nice and glossy. And that is pretty much it, but I decided to do one more step, and it is completely optional, and that is just sprinkling on some raw sugar on top. That is completely optional, okay? So you don't have to do that. So my oven was being preheated on 350 Fahrenheit, and now I am ready to bake my pie. I'm going to bake the pie for about 30 to 35 minutes, and again, don't forget you can get the complete measurements from my blog, iHeartRecipes. When the pie was done, this is what it looked like, and it actually came out looking pretty, but you know what? It tastes even better. It was a perfect combination of tart and sweet. Definitely give this recipe a try and tell me what you think. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and visit me every Sunday and Wednesdays for new video uploads.